Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 143. This is episode 115, coming at you live. Nick, how we doing?
We're doing great. We have made it to baseball season. Almost opening day is this Thursday.
Yeah,
So
baby.
that's pretty electric. Rangers will be playing the Cubs that day as we hoist the World Series banner up into the rafters forever
Yes.
until the end of time. So that's going to be a pretty
6:30
electric experience.
ESPN.
Yep.
So
Some
everybody
night
watch
baseball.
it. Yep.
Mhm.
We finally got a primetime game. Look at that.
I know. It's about time. We earned it.
Didn't think that was going to happen. But yeah, we're here to talk to you about baseball this season. First of all, Nick, we've been waiting forever for baseball season to get back in swing, and it's finally here. Nick and I both have been out to Phoenix and have both watched the Rangers, and it's safe to say we are better in October than we are in March, but I'm here for it,
Hey, that's
and that's the
okay.
goal. That's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, and so start us off with the stat of the week, then we'll get into it. Brought to you by Andrews Logistics. I was just going to say the top five odds to win the World Series this year. We got number 1, the Dodgers, number 2, the Braves, number 3, the Astros, number 4, the Orioles, and number 5, the Yankees. I think the Rangers are at number 7, it looks like, but that's your top 5: Dodgers, Braves, Astros, Orioles, and Yankees. And we'll dive into what the season's going to look like for those teams here in a second.
Yeah, we'll debunk all of those real quick.
Yes,
but your player of the week making his appearance on the mound on Thursday. He is your opening day starter. Nasty Nate. Big playoff Nate. Nathan Eovaldi. Last year, did he have a year? He had a rocky start there towards the end, very end of the season. He had some forearm issues and kind of caused some problems at the end of the regular season. But then he flipped the switch when October rolled around, and he was absolutely disgusting. Posted a 3.63 ERA over the entire season, 144 innings pitched, so that was pretty insane. A little over a 1.1 whip, walks, hits over innings pitched. So he was definitely a dominant force. So glad that he's back in the rotation. We're looking forward to this Thursday night. Absolutely.
Yeah, looking forward to the start of the Rangers season. One thing about baseball, the reason we don't talk about it every week, baseball season's a marathon, and it's really just all about getting hot at the end of the season. So obviously everyone's psyched for opening day. We're psyched for every day watching baseball, but it is a long season with 162 games, the longest in sports. And, last season, each game matters, but it's tough when there's 162 of them. So, we're here to just get pumped about opening day. The ring ceremony, the Rangers are going to be wearing their gold trim jerseys looking clean. We're pumped for that. And yet another baseball season where nobody learns that the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, these big money teams, man, they're not winning the World Series.
They always put the Yankees up there, and the Yankees always underperform. Just duty. And then the Dodgers, it's the same thing. They go out and buy everybody, and they turn out to be, not so good. There's some scandal going on amongst the Dodgers. Who knows what you believe and what you don't believe. Yep, Shohei Ohtani's been having some issues. We'll see how those pan out. But, yeah, it's the same teams every year that they put up there, and those same teams choke it all away in the playoffs, so we'll see. But I do have to hand it to them. I do think the Dodgers got stronger, and I do think the Yankees got a little bit stronger. I think they made some good moves in the offseason, but, we're all expecting the same thing in the end from both of those teams.
The GMs for those teams are good. I don't know what it is about the teams, but I think it is just like you cannot just throw a bunch of money together, and just expect the team to form together, come together, the chemistry to be there. Because, with a lot of big players on big contracts, you got a lot of big egos. Sometimes that's not always good for a team. I'm not saying it's that way with every big money team, but I think that can be a problem for those teams. Obviously, what we did is we paid, 2 or 3 guys, and then just everyone else we kind of built around them, like Corey Seager, Marcus Simeon, and then we gave a bunch of money to Jacob deGrom, although he has done nothing for us. But the Rangers, it's just the big money teams don't seem to want to go through that rebuilding process, which makes sense because they don't need to. They have money. But that's what obviously got us here. It was just a long trek. But I appreciate Chris Young coming out and saying that we're not done. We want more. Our free agent signings didn't always look like that. But last week, we signed Lorenzen from the Phillies. And Nick, how do you feel about that? I liked it, but how do you feel about
That's
it?
a great signing. Obviously, there were excuse me, there were some questions about that starting rotation, with letting Jordan Montgomery walk. That was
sad.
We had some strong opinions on that one.
Heartbreak.
Obviously, that one stings because he was such a phenomenal force.
We only had 2 starters in the playoffs, and it was.
But I mean, the other thing too is that was at the very end of the deadline signing. That was a guy that we just snagged who turned out to be a gem. So who knows how he plays out for an entire season? But also that means that we as well. I mean, we could do another one of those things come trade deadline time. But yeah, I like the Michael Lorenzen pickup. Another huge roster. Breaking news would be Wyatt Langford making the opening day roster, which is huge.
He earned it.
I mean, he absolutely raked in spring training. I mean, you just look at his picture; he's absolutely yoked. He's just. I mean, he's jacked.
He made it onto Player of the Week, and that's no small accomplishment for him in his early career. Already making it onto Player of the Week here at Under Review. That's an accolade that sometimes takes years for players to get. And so this guy's coming right out of the gate, and he's impressing a lot of people, including us.
Yep, coming out hot. Corey Seager and Josh Young, both of those guys had dealt with some injuries during spring training. But they'll be good for opening day was the big news. Nathaniel Lowe, unfortunately, he'll be out. Still injured for a little bit. He's going to have to take some time to recover. But I think this is a strong unit top to bottom. We have a lot of guys in the dugout, a lot of utility guys that can fill a role. So I'm pretty excited for that. Another big signing in the pitcher room was Kirby Yates. There's a guy we got from the Braves. He's been in the league for a while. Had a couple really, really good years, but I think he'll bring a good presence to that bullpen. So he, obviously, super excited. We didn't sign any humongous names, but I think everything we did was beneficial to the roster.
For the most part, our core stayed together, and there is always the trade deadline if we need to do something short term, which is what we need to do because we don't have a TV deal. We don't have to get into that, but the Rangers do have to keep it short term as of right now. But we did that last year, and it worked out. Obviously, right now, you just kind of put all your trust in the front office just because they got us to where we are. We're World Series champs, and we're hoisting that banner, getting the rings on Thursday, and so. As a Rangers fan, you're nothing but excited right now. I just, we gotta, and as of right now, I want to win another one. I'm hungry, and so are the rest of the Rangers. But my priority for this regular season, let's not let the Astros take it this time, because you give them something, and they just think they won it all. I got Astros fans still telling me they won the division last year, which that's fine. But
congratulations, here's your medal.
Nick, I don't want to just beat them. I want to destroy them.
Absolutely.
That's kind of how I feel about the Astros.
That's completely understandable. Big thing is I want to come out and prove that we weren't just a one-year wonder. We're not going to be one of those teams that goes and wins it and then goes right back to being awful. Yeah. And there's really no reason to do that because we have essentially the same roster.
It's going to be injuries.
Yeah,
we absolutely. But also we're getting some pitchers later in the year, and Scherzer and DeGrom, that will really help the lineup as they will hopefully, like, it would work out timing wise to where they come back, they rehab, like they're back for the postseason, like strong, healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so the Rangers are looking good opening day. Shifting off the Rangers, in terms
the Dodgers and Padres have already played a couple games in that series Korea. over in Korea. Series. Yep. I mean, those were some interesting games. I mean, I didn't watch any of them because they were at like 6 a.m. our time, so I was only able to get highlights. But
the Padres are looking good this year.
Yep. I would say. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he was a big deal coming over to the Dodgers, and he got blasted in his MLB debut, absolutely shelled, and didn't even make it out of the first inning, I believe, or second inning.
But
he got yanked.
No, he didn't make it out of the first one. Obviously, first start, you never know. Me personally, I prey on the Dodgers' downfall a little bit. I have to admit, so that made me happy to see, but I think he will be pretty good just because, they didn't pay him all that money for no reason. He signed a pretty big contract. So, but that did make me happy to see. But the Padres, on the other hand, they're a hot hitting team. They just kind of got snuffed out in the playoffs last year. I think this is the year where Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis have to prove that, they are what their contracts say they are. Because they have been getting bounced in the playoffs lately and pretty early. And I guess not pretty early, but they've been getting bounced. They're trying to go for that World Series appearance, and they haven't gotten there yet.
And then obviously last year, they didn't even make it to the postseason. So that was pretty disappointing for how star-studded that lineup was. And also, they lost Juan Soto.
Yep.
That's a big hole for them to have in their lineup. But they've played 2 games. It's only been 2 games, but they've looked a lot better in those 2 games. There's a Braves Phillies. That's going to be a good one to watch. That's a
that'll be
huge
tight.
Division rivalry, and that was an electric playoff series last year. So we'll get to see those teams face off in Philadelphia for the first time this season. So that'll be an exciting one. That's definitely going to be another one you're going to want to tune into. Obviously, as soon as it's over, you want to get over and watch the Rangers game.
Yes.
Astros, Yankees. That'll be
the same thing as usual. The Astros will whip up on the Yankees and think there's something
in that one.
For some reason, the Yankees' absolute kryptonite is the Astros, and they can never seem to beat the Astros.
They can't.
And then the Astros fans get a big head. But listen, everybody beats the Yankees, okay? The Yankees are not special. They just think they're special. All right? Since Jeter, the Yankees are not the Yankees anymore, okay? And like I said before, I'm just tired of it. And I need the Rangers to go back to back.
This division, it's more competitive. We proved ourselves this last year. The Mariners, obviously, they didn't make the playoffs, but they made it close, and they'll be just as good, if not better. So they'll, maybe have something to prove. They might be in contention for that race again.
It's a 3-team division right now for sure. In
obviously,
terms of
A's, Angels are awful.
A's and the Angels will be battling for that last spot for sure in the
division.
They
will be battling for 4th place.
Yeah. But
trying to not get last.
Last season it was just a matter of 1.5 games for the Mariners not to get in, for us to get in, and the Astros to win it. It all came down to the last 2 days of the season for all 3 of those teams.
Series. Yeah.
And so it'll be tied again.
Another game, Pirates Marlins. Marlins will be playing at home. They'll probably win that game on a walk-off home run from courtesy of the Pirates bringing in Aroldis Chapman to close out that game, and the game will not get closed out because they'll end up losing. And I'll be here for that one. I'll be watching that one. Just waiting on the downfall.
Happy to say we were glad to see Aroldis Chapman go. We appreciate just all the anxiety attacks he gave us over last season, and the blown saves that he provided for us. I I don't think there was a single time he went in that I was like, man, this is the guy we need right now.
I mean,
And
all we can say is you're welcome, I
yeah,
guess. You're welcome for letting you along for the ride and letting you mooch a World Series ring off us.
every time he came into pitch, it was like he was the best player on the other team. It was just like he was giving them as meatballs. But I think he's where he belongs in Pittsburgh.
At a poverty franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but hey, he's getting a ring whenever he comes back to Arlington to play.
Yeah,
so there you go, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And that contract that he just got in Pittsburgh was because of us. So,
you're welcome. Once again, you're welcome.
The Rangers, our DNA last year needs to remain the same this year. Pitching was not our game. And as long as the bats stay hot, we'll be where we were, and just as good. And we're an offensive team. That's what we are. And that's okay. But that's what's got to stay hot.
That's what got us our ring last year was just that offense that just overpowered teams.
And the defensive efficiency. So we weren't the best pitching team, but when the ball got put in play, we were really good in the field. And
we were exceptional at making those plays. Yep.
Those guys are still out there.
Lots of Gold Glove talent out there. Yeah. A couple of guys were in that conversation last year, and a couple guys got some Gold Gloves. So, I mean, like Joseph said, pitching was not our strong suit. I don't think it's going to be our strong suit again. It's got to stay offense, Those bats have just got to drown people out. You got to have a formula for winning, and that's going to be ours. That's what it was last year, and I think that'll be a great one to have in this upcoming season.
And the number one thing, man, we always have to remember it's a roller coaster season. That's how baseball works. There's going to be ups and downs, but in everything, we trust in Bruce. And
absolutely.
Bruce Bochy, he knows what he's doing. And listen, I will say this with the Giants. I've said it before. It's World Series, really bad year. World Series, really bad year. World Series. So he had 3 World Series with the Giants. So, I believe in Bruce no matter what happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a championship. He just proved it. He's still a championship winning guy.
He literally came into a franchise that lost 94. Yeah. I think it was 94. 94 games the season before they won it, and then like 102 the year before that, and then he comes in next year, World Series. You can't make this stuff up. That's just exactly what happened.
He knows it's about pacing yourself and getting hot at the end of the year. That's what the D-backs did, and they made it to the World Series, shocking everybody. Yep. That's just how baseball works. And so opening day, it just means the sport is back. That means we get baseball every day until November, and we're pumped.
Yeah, so super excited.
And our team is good again. And we're World Series champions, reigning champions. It doesn't get much better than that.
It really doesn't.
So we're excited. Thursday.
Absolutely. Thursday, tune in for opening day. So here's like to end our shows from Under Review. I have brought you a quote from Bullet Bob Feller. Okay. He was a player early in the 1900s, back at the beginning of the game. He said, "Every day is a new opportunity. You can build on yesterday's success or put its failures behind and start over again. That's the way life is, with a new game every day, and that's the way baseball is." Hey,
man, 162 of them before the playoff.
You take that with you for this next week. Get excited about baseball. Also, this Friday, got some more. Or this Thursday and Friday, got some more March Madness games. So that'll be pretty electric to watch. San Diego State still in there, Just like to put that out there.
They are indeed. They took care of business Sunday night. So
against Yale.
Hammered Yale. Yeah. Tune in Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN and watch some Rangers baseball. We'll be back at it again. And then, just like always, we'll see you next week on Wednesday here at Under Review. Thanks for listening.